today was kind of a variety of different activities, starting off with oral questions, as I always do, to get them, into the target language, and then do some literacy strategies with echo reading about health and food that athletes eat, and also starting off with skimming and having the students kind of pre-think and pre-read about what words they might see in an article like that. And then also it involved them kind of a lot of movement, getting them out of their seats, which I feel is really important, doing musical shares, and then having them with the musical shares, thinking and speaking in the target language with question words, and also going back to their reading and coming up with questions. And then also getting with their different partners that they have. We do a mapa de compañeros, which is each country they have to do a different partner. So throughout the entire year they're working with all different partners. So with that they got to have a choice of whether they wanted to describe a good athlete or a bad athlete and use new words from the reading, or also other vocabulary that they just know from their prior knowledge. And then throughout the lesson we had some shout outs and talking about cognates and different things like that as well. When you finish, share your 3 words with your partner. Okay, clase, shout them out. What are we hearing?
Let's reduce el pan
and slow down.
Vamos a leer el artículo juntos. We're going to read together. We're going to do some echo reading. Okay, who can explain what echo reading is? Eva?
When you say something and then you repeat.
Okay, and when we do echo reading, what's the one thing I really want you to focus on? Alicia? Working on your pronunciation. Muy bien. So we're going to start with the first one. ¿Está bien? Okay. ¿Qué come un jugador de fútbol? Los jugadores de fútbol comen comidas equilibradas. Con muchos carbohidratos. Minerales y vitaminas. Ellos consumen cerca de 5,000 calorías en total. Okay, clase, so just reading that short bit, what are some cognates that you've heard? But before that, what is a cognate? What is a cognate, Rio?
It's a word that sounds the same in English and Spanish.
Well, almost the same, right? So shout out some cognates we heard. Now, in 3 to 4 minutos, about 3 to 4 minutes, I just want you and your partner to go through and kind of reread and think about it in Spanish and talk about it in English. What is it saying? What do they eat before the game? Why do you think they eat them? Go through each of them and figure out exactly what it is they're saying. Okay.
A lot of bread, a lot of butter, a lot of
30 seconds.
Okay, so they eat
water, hydrated.
and it's really good. And you want to have it without too fast.
And then for one part, also it is very important to drink a lot of liquid.
Okay, clase, sí.
Se puede.
Sí, sí.
Se puede.
Muy bien, clase. Vamos a hacerte unas preguntas. Let's talk about questions. What are some question words that you could use to ask about what someone eats before a game or after a game? What are some question words that we could use? Think of a question word. Pablo. En la primera caja, in the first box, you're going to write 3 interrogatives in Spanish that you could use to ask questions about athletes and their health. So 3 interrogatives, 3 question words. You're not writing questions, you're just writing question words. What are 3 interrogatives that you could use to ask an athlete about what they eat, why they eat something? Okay, come up with 3 interrogatives in Spanish. Now what you're going to do, we're going to do musical shares. Okay? So, with musical shares, when the music's playing, you can dance around. We're going to be listening to Samo. It's one of the ones from the top 40. It's number 5 right now on the Latin Billboard charts. He's from Mexico. Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs right now. It's a good answer. So, when the music stops, you can sit anywhere you want. There are 4 boxes here. They are labeled El Desayuno, El Almuerzo, La Cena, and Las Bebidas. What did we just read about? El Desayuno, El Almuerzo, La Cena, Las Bebidas. So when you sit down, you're going to choose a box. If you choose the El Desayuno box, you're going to write a question from here. You could say, ¿Qué comes para el desayuno? Or ¿Dónde está el yogur? Right? Or ¿Quién come el yogur? Who eats the yogurt? Anything like that. If you go to El Almuerzo box, you're going to do something from El Almuerzo. If you go to La Cena, you're going to ask about La Cena. Who, what, when, where, why. And then Las Bebidas. Okay, está bien.
Con paso firme siempre caminé.
En silencio, piensa.
Hoy sé quién soy yo.
Compañero de Colombia. Tu compañero de Colombia. Si no tienes, ven aquí. Entonces, un minuto para tu compañero de Colombia. ¿No tienes? Si no tienes, ven aquí. Solamente una para los dos. Or 3. Just one piece of paper per pair. You and your partner can choose. Do you want to describe el atleta malo? Do you want to describe a bad athlete? Or el atleta bueno? Okay. 4 minutos más o menos, 4 to 5 minutes. Work with your partner. Come up with good sentences describing either a good one or a bad one. Okay, clase, sí. Sí puede. Sí, sí. Se puede.
Él come muchas las frutas.
Y algo malo para Orlando.
Come verduras nunca.
Algo buena.
Verduras nunca.
Verduras.
No esperanzas. Practical.
No, it's made my classroom better. You know, the whole culture of my classroom. I didn't realize that the classroom was a culture. You know, for me teaching Spanish, I think of culture as, oh, the culture of Mexico. I'm going to teach you about that. So, you know, now I look at culture in such a through different eyes. You know, and as a teacher, it's made me a better teacher. It's made my students more engaged. You know, every day in the classroom, just throwing out a couple of the CLR activities every day. The students just seem like they're getting it better. Like coming up with new vocabulary strategies. You know, before I would just do the same thing each time, but now introducing new vocabulary, I try and do a variety of activities, where before it was kind of the same repetition. And even though I think it was okay before, it's just, I've taken it to the next level, you know, because of this, because it's made me really rethink good strategies that I had in place and then take them up a notch, you know, and that's with the literacy strategies, vocabulary, the movement was a huge thing for me. I never really thought students could learn so much out of their chairs. I'd be like, I tried this, but it didn't work for me. Why does it work for you? So even though they're teaching different subject areas, it's so great that we can all collaborate together. You'd be like, oh, I did this tiered thing. I'm like, well, that works in English. How do you think it would work in Spanish? So just collaborating with my colleagues has been really great as well. Not just in the classroom, but outside of the